So here's a quick tour of the UW-Milwaukee Union area lighting, the sort of common area. Recently, in the past couple of weeks, they actually swapped it out from all sodium to pretty much all corncob LEDs. They left the existing fixtures in place, which is nice. However, the corncob LEDs are quite poor fits due to the optics. Obviously, the optics were designed around a small arc tube in a clear bulb versus these corn LEDs are a large bulb with a large circumference, kind of equivalent to a diffuse bulb, which, it can work okay for floods, but for this situation, it kind of leaves the lighting patchy. It's not terrible. You can see most places, and the places you can't see, you couldn't see before. However, the center area is quite poorly lit. It used to be substantially better lit. I don't know why it's so terrible now. I guess just because these LEDs, a lot of the light gets lost because it reflects off the reflector and then hits the corncob light again. Whereas with a clear bulb, that wouldn't really happen. You can see the poor optics here in the bandstand. You can see that the far corners are dim, and the near corners are very bright. One light points down, and they do shine a considerable amount of light backward, but there's also a floodlight. You can see it's at an angle, and I will show you the light itself right there. They're just corncob lights. They are quite cold. They're around 5,000 Kelvin, I want to say. Not too terrible. Not great, though. But, they're everywhere over here. But you can see the optics are quite suboptimal. It lights up this edge quite well, and that edge is quite poor. And ignore the tree for the most part. This corner is just about as dim as that corner. So the tree doesn't do too much. But, it used to. I have a photo of it when it was sodium. Granted, it's quite far away, but you can see a quite sharp beam. You can see a quite sharp beam because it was taken during snow, and a very nice sharp cutoff line. It was very well tuned to this bandstand. But anyway, over here you can see the Union itself. There's a catwalk up there. I believe it is still sodium lit. It may be fluorescent, warm fluorescent. And then you have these terrible uplights. They look kind of nice-ish. They leave kind of harsh shadows on that fire alarm. Very well placed. You can't see any of the posters, though. Those are all posters there. They're all dark. And the bike racks are dark. I don't know if there used to be lights here. I don't believe so. Maybe, way long ago. Anyway, inside the Union, which I'll show later, it's fluorescent over here. Maybe LED retrofit bulbs in there. And then in that area down there, in, the hallway, it's actually Metal-Halide downlights. And one of them, though it's burnt out, or turned off, has a deluxe white Mercury in it, which is quite nice. Here you can see the emergency phone. And then over here, you can see some sodium that's still remaining installed. I don't know if they're going to change it later. There are a couple instances of sodium still installed, but you can see it's very bright, very well lit here. Works well for an entrance. Over there, you got more light. But as you go over here, you notice something real special. I'm sure you can see it already. Yep. We've got Mercury-Vapor 175 watt deluxe white all over. All across the front of this. And I will quickly give you a demonstration proving that it is indeed a Mercury. Right there. Autofocus is being an idiot. Oh God, what is with that autofocus? Anyway, maybe I can get a better shot of it later. But you can see them all over. There are LEDs down there. That decorative-ish. I still think the decorative ones without the lenses look absolutely stupid. But the decorative one's been there for a long time. It's actually a slightly warmer temperature than the new ones. They changed the temperature from probably around 4,500 to maybe 5,000 Kelvin during the recent rollout. Before that, it was very experimental. You know, a couple fixtures here, a couple fixtures there over multiple years. Then you got some normal post lights. But all over the front, you got Mercs. Mercs as far as the eye can see. You can see them down there too. I'll head down there in a moment. They did try LED retrofits. Alright, I hit the wrong button. Not a stop button, mind you. I hit the settings button on accident, trying to find a flashlight. I haven't used open camera before. But as you can see, they got an LED retrofit there. That's still a Merc. Not running. I'm not sure why. That one up there is running. Okay, open camera is terribly designed in terms of... The light won't turn off now. There we go. Anyway, the app open camera ain't the best designed because opening the settings menu absolutely screws you. But, you know, here we've got the interior of UWM, the Union. It's, you know, reasonably well lit. They've recently renovated this room. But here, you can see more Mercury. Boom. Why won't it focus? There we go. So, you can clearly see these gorgeous Mercs all around the front of the building. They got them everywhere. They light it up very nicely. I mean, obviously you can see that the indoor lighting is leaking quite a bit, and this one's out. But over here, for instance, you know, it's lit up. Aside from the fact that it's quite a silly design to have the light there, and the railing, you know, blocks half of the railing, or the railing blocks half of the path's light, but it's lit up quite well. Those lights used to be on the other year, but they aren't anymore. But one very neat thing is glass. These have glass refractors. So I would love to get a hold of all these if they ever upgraded them. But what I suspect that they would do is either scrap them because they don't want them to get into the hands of nobody. Or the other likely option is they stick those stupid LED corn lights and everything. Just look disgusting. They don't, well, they might fit inside the, they might, I don't know actually. I don't remember if they had any which were inside of the refractors. I want to say that I've seen it, but I couldn't honestly tell you. But anyway, so where's the lighting of this place? Here's some skylights. Can't really see them. There's some skylights. But yeah, Mercs, sodium, and some smelly LEDs. They also have induction lights in another area of the campus, although they're all turned off right now for some reason. I'll have to hopefully catch them while they're actually running to video them all. I might do it in the morning, like tomorrow or something, when it's light out, just to get them on camera in case they swap them. But there's a quick lighting tour. I guess I might as well go over to the library as well. Show some of the more interesting fixtures they have. Unfortunately, they have also been swapped. Pretty much everything on campus has. You know, the year's been going for a couple... There's a guy over there. Year's been going on for a few weeks. You know, you can reasonably expect things to be swapped by now. But, it's not too bad. The lights do function mostly. Now, unfortunately, I'll wait for that guy to pass. Unfortunately, a lot of the retrofits aren't running right now. I don't know if it's because of the installation or because the bulbs have failed right away. Or, hell, it could even be that they just fried the circuit or something, you know, popped a breaker and haven't fixed it. But there's some by the dorms and some parking lot lights that just aren't on. As well as there are also a lot that are currently day burning, which includes street lights. Both retrofits and non-retrofits alike have been day burning for a few weeks. They weren't doing it right at the start of the year, but evidently they swapped. Anyway, here you have some neat post tops. Unfortunately, the light they put out is pitiful now because they really, really weren't designed for those optics. So they just spew light everywhere as opposed to putting it where it's needed. A lot of it goes well in the horizontal or even above. You know, it'll shoot. You can't really see the bulbs, but they're coming down at an angle inside. But a lot of the light spews out at the horizontal where it's useless. But, you know, they got 4 of these things. You got 2 here. Then you walk through here to the other bike rack and they got 2 more. These can lights were recently changed from sodium to corn shit. But, yeah, here are the other 2. They don't put out much light anymore. Same as these wall packs. These were sodium. These post lights were actually changed long before these wall packs were. But these, you know, like, you can kind of see in there. If I really drop the exposure, you can see the light. But it just does not put much down. Like, you know, you got this little area. And over here, you know, there's not much. There is some, because the corn lights throw some directly forward, but with the sodiums, they shot a lot more light around. Then over here, you got some older retrofits. Or not retrofits, these are actually total fixture replacements. Last year, because I believe they did them at the start of last year. Last year, the fixtures, the old posts, because they replaced the posts and the bases and the heads and everything. The old posts were sitting over there all last year. They're gone this year, probably to the scrap, which is a bit of a shame, you know, but not a big deal. They're kind of rusty. It is Wisconsin after all. This place does get salt like crazy. You can see here these lights, they are chip on board, I believe that is. Oops, we have messed with the white balance. That down to 5,500. Anyway, so they're, you know, chip on board, flat fixtures. Here's a retrofit one. They have cutoffs, but the cutoffs don't work anymore. Like they have, you can see, they have the box, and then inside the box, there's the bulb, horizontal, and then they have a cutoff line to keep it from going too far forward. Well, asses to that with these cob lights, these corn lights. They just spew forward anyway because of the larger diameter of the light emitting surface. But then over here, we've got the flags. These lights are actually halogens. You can kind of see them. I like to warm my hands on them during the winter. You'll be able to see in there. Halogens. Wonderful lights. They do work excellently, of course, because they're PAR floods. They look like PAR 48 or 56. They don't look quite as big as a PAR 64. But they're great for warming your hands on in the winter when you're walking by. But, yeah, I'll cover other areas maybe later. I think that the library and the union are good enough for now. So, take care.